Dear students, in this video lecture, I am going to discuss how to find resistance or impedance in a circuit. This is one of the most important topic of network theory because if you are appearing in GATE examination, engineering services examination or any other competitive examination, then you can always expect at least one question from this topic because this topic has the applications in Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, maximum power transfer theorem and transients. That means in the case of Thevenin's theorem, you will have to find R Thevenin. In the case of Norton's theorem, you will have to find R Norton's. In the case of maximum power transfer theorem, you will have to find R Thevenin's or Z Thevenin's, and in the case of transients, you will have to find time constant of the circuit. So when you go to find time constant of the circuit, then for that you need to find R equivalent. You need to find R equivalent. So first let us see what is the meaning of resistance. What is the meaning of resistance? What happens if there is resistance in the circuit? Suppose we are having a circuit like this. We are having a circuit like this. Here it is 100 volt. Here it is 10 ohm. Then what do you see? Current of V by I, that means 10 ampere of current flows through the circuit. Now what happens? That means I equal to V by R. Now if you start increasing the value of resistance, then the value of current decreases. That means when this resistance becomes 100 ohm, the current will become how much? It will become 1 ampere. See some practical examples of resistance. Suppose you are riding your bike on a plain road, on a smooth road. Suppose some newly constructed road is there in your area and it is very smooth. So if the road is smooth, if you are driving your car, suppose up to this portion road is smooth, so you are driving the car at a speed of how much? You can probably 100 km per hour. Is it okay for you? Clear? Now what happens? Come to this point. Now after this the condition of road is not good. Clear? Many jerks are there, many obstacles are there, road is not plain. So what will happen? You will have to reduce the speed of the car and the speed of car will now become 50 km per hour. Here the speed will become 50 km per hour. So that means if there is some resistance, then the flow of current will be reduced. Next, take the example of water tap. Suppose water tap is on and water is coming out through the water tap. Now what happens? You start rotating water tap in clockwise direction. So when you start rotating the water tap in clockwise direction, you will see that flow of water reduces. Why? Because here you see that if you are having the water tap like this, now water is flowing through this. Now what happens if you start rotating the water tap in clockwise direction, the flow of water reduces. Why? Because now it is inserting resistance. It is creating resistance in the path of flow of water. Clear? Next, if you are an electronic engineer, so see the microchips. You are giving supply in microchips and you try to observe the resistance of microchips. So it has very large resistance in the chip. Clear? So these are some practical examples that you must think before studying resistance. Clear? Now here you have to find the equivalent resistance in a circuit. So why you need to find the resistance of a circuit? Why you need to find? See, suppose a complex network is given to you here. Suppose a complex network is given to you. Clear? Now what happens? If you are going to connect a supply, then you must know that what will be the current that will come out from the supply. Because you should know that if you are designing a supply, if you are connecting a supply, then how much power this will deliver, how much power this supply will deliver. To find the power, you will have to find the product of voltage and current. Now to find the product of current, what you will have to do? See here, this is the complete network. The current is being divided into two parts. So for this supply voltage source, you will have to find equivalent resistance, or if inductors and capacitors also present in the circuit, then in that case you will have to find the value of impedance. Clear? So let's discuss how to find resistance in a circuit. For this, first I am going to divide the circuit into 4 different types. Clear? So let us write type of the circuit or case number. Here you are having independent source, and next another column is of dependent source. This is dependent source. Clear? Now what you have to do? You will have 4 different types of circuits. In the first circuit, there will be only resistors or inductors or capacitors. That means there will be only passive elements. So independent source will not be present, dependent source will not be present. Now you will have second type of circuit. Here you will see that independent sources are present, dependent sources are absent. Come to third case, you will see that both dependent and independent sources are present. The fourth case, you won't have independent source, but you will have a dependent source here. You will have a dependent source in the circuit. So let us discuss the steps to find equivalent resistance or equivalent impedance in all the different types of network. Clear? So let's start with first case. That means the circuit without having any source. Let us take first case, circuit without any sources. Clear? Now if no any sources are present, then let us write the steps to find equivalent resistance or equivalent impedance. First step is identify the terminal through which resistance is to be seen. Resistance is to be seen. Clear? Second step, find equivalent resistance. Find equivalent resistance or impedance either by observation or by placing a voltage source or by placing a voltage source across the terminal. Now they are saying that first you will have to identify the terminal through which resistance is to be seen. Clear? Once you identify the terminal, then you can find the resistance either by observation or by placing a voltage source. Now let us see some problems. Suppose you are having the circuit like this. Now what happens? Somebody is asking you to find the resistance seen through the terminal AB. Suppose this is 6 ohm, this is 12 ohm, this is 12 ohm. So what will happen? These 12 are connected in parallel. 12, it will be 6. Now 6 plus 6 is in series. So total here it will be 12 ohm will be the answer. 12 ohm will be the answer. Clear? So now let us see different type of circuits. Let us see different type of circuit. Suppose if you are having the circuit like this, you are having the circuit like this. Suppose this type of circuit is given to you. Now if somebody is asking you to find the value of equivalent resistance, then how will you manage to find? This is 6 ohm. You have to find the equivalent resistance seen through AB terminal. So see this circuit. Now here you can observe that this part is connected in star. If the part is connected in star, so what will you do? We'll try to convert it into delta. So delta means this resistance, and there will be another resistance, this one. So now if you are going from star to delta, remember this point, very important point. If you are going from star to delta, so what happens? The resistance, if all the three resistances are equal, then resistance will be multiplied by 3. Then the resistance will be multiplied by 3. Clear? Now if you are coming from delta to star, then the resistance will be divided by 3. Divided by 3. Here it is multiplied by 3. You can also remember it like, suppose if you are having some confusion, then star, how many letters are there? 4 letters. In delta, there are 5 letters. That means if you are moving from 4 to 5, then it will be multiplied by 3. If you are coming back from 5 to 4, it will be divided by 3. So what will happen here? You will see that if you are converting a star to delta, then these resistances will become 2 into 3, 6. Here it will be 6. Now what will happen? You are having two parallel resistors of 6 ohm. You are having two parallel resistors of 6 ohm. You are having two parallel resistors of 6 ohm. But you don't have now the resistors in star. So what will happen? The 6, it will be 3. It will be 3. It will be 3. So you will have the circuit like this. You will have the circuit like this. Here it is 6. Here it is 3. 3, 3. Now 3 plus 3, 6. 6 and 3 are in parallel. So the total resistance will be 2 ohm. Here it will be 2 ohm. So now 2 ohm plus 6 ohm will be in series. So your answer will be 8 ohm. Your answer will be 8 ohm. Clear? Now let us look at one more problem of finding the equivalent resistance. Because if you are appearing in GATE examination, then you can see this type of circuit somewhere in the paper. See the circuit. You are having 3 resistors connected in series. This is very common type of circuit and very easy to solve. Only you have to remember some of the steps. All the resistors are 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 2 ohm and 2 ohm. Now somebody is asking you to find the resistance across AB terminal, equivalent resistance across AB terminal. So how will you find the equivalent resistance? See how to find. There are two terminals known to you. This is B, this is A. Now you are having two unknown nodes. You are having two unknown nodes. The first step is you will have to assign some name. Assign the name to different nodes. So once you assign the name to different nodes, then what will happen? Then the next step is you will have to place the nodes A and B at horizontal axis. That means you have to find the equivalent resistance between A and B. It will be placed at horizontal axis. Now the remaining two nodes will be placed at vertical axis. Now start from point A. Start traveling point from point A. Now you have to see it has the connections with node C. It has the connections with node D. So A, B, this is C, this is D. So A has connection with C, that means 2 ohm. A has connection with D, it is 2 ohm. Come to point C. It has one connection with A, which you have already mentioned. Now it has connections with B. It has the connections with D. So that means C and B, it is 2 ohm. C and D, it is 2 ohm. Next, come to D. It has the connection, new connection with B. So B, that means here it is 2 ohm. 2 ohm. Clear? So if you are moving from left to right, then you will never miss any node or any connections. Now what will happen? This is the type of balanced Wheatstone bridge. 2 by 2 equal to 2 by 2. So current will not flow through this resistor. 2 to 4. This is 4. 4 and 4 are in parallel. So R equivalent will be equal to how much? It will be equal to 2 ohm. It will be equal to 2 ohm. तो इस तरह के सर्किट को देखकर आपको घबराना नहीं है, आप बहुत आसानी से फाइंड कर सकते हैं. क्लियर? नेक्स्ट कम टू सेकेंड केस. नाउ इन द सेकेंड केस the circuit will have independent source present in the system, in the circuit will have independent source. Second case is circuit having independent sources. Clear? So what is the meaning of independent source? Independent source means irrespective of any condition, there will be some value of the source, whether it is voltage or current. Clear? So it is not going to depend on any condition. Having independent source. Clear? Because before 1947, you generally see this figure. Before 1947, the figure was like this. And after 1947, after 15th August 1947, we are like this. So this is dependent and this is independent. So here now we are dealing the circuit having independent sources. That means we are dealing the country after 1947. After 1947. Clear? So here we see circuit having independent sources. So now how to find the equivalent resistance? First step is we'll have to identify the terminal. Identify the terminal. Identify the terminal. Step 2 is deactivate all the independent sources. Now your question will be, sir, why will deactivate all the independent sources? See the reason. Suppose you are having the circuit like this. Clear? This is 5 ohm, this is 5 ohm, this is 2 ampere, this is 5 volt. Now somebody is asking you to find the resistance that will be offered by this circuit through this terminal. So what will you do? You know this resistance, you know this resistance. Now what is the resistance of this source? The sources will also have some resistance. Maybe its resistance is 0, maybe its resistance is infinity, or it has some finite resistance, but it will have some value. So see, you cannot ignore the contribution of sources in finding resistance. So here you see about current source. So if it is an ideal current source, so ideal current source means what? Its resistance will be infinite. So infinite resistance can be shown by open circuit. So that's why you open the current source, and here you see the resistance of this part. If this is ideal source, its resistance is 0. That's why it is replaced by short circuit. So current source by open circuit, and voltage source by short circuit. Clear? So deactivate all the independent sources. Third step is, now if sources are absent, then find R effective or Z effective either by observation, either by observation or by placing a voltage source clear. So I hope you can easily find the resistances if independent sources are there in the circuit. I have already discussed one of the example. Clear. Now come to third case. That means the circuit having both independent and dependent sources. Circuit having both independent and dependent sources. Having both independent sources and dependent sources. Having both independent and dependent sources. Clear. So now how to find the equivalent resistance? The first step is common to all the circuits. Step one is identify the terminal. Identify the terminal through which resistance is to be observed. Step two is deactivate all the independent sources. Deactivate all the independent sources. But remember these things. They are saying you to deactivate the independent sources only. You are not going to deactivate any dependent source. Clear? Don't deactivate dependent source. Again your question will be, sir, why we can't deactivate dependent source? Because you know what is the meaning of dependent source. Suppose its value is 5I1. Clear? Now what about I1? Suppose I1 is the current of this branch. Suppose the I1 is current of this branch. Clear? Now its value itself is dependent on this branch. If its value is dependent on this branch, so because of the parameters of this branch, the resistance offered by this source will vary. The resistance offered by this source will be varying. That means you can say that its resistance will neither be 0 nor be infinity. Sometimes it can be 0 or it can be infinity if the branch current itself becomes 0. But in the maximum cases, it will have some finite resistance. Why? Because its parameters are depending, its magnitude is depending on the parameters of other branches or parameters of other branches. Suppose you are having the branch like this. If you are having the branch like this, it is 2I1. It is 2I1, and now what do you see? You will see that you are having a resistance. And here it is 5 volt. Here it is 5 volt. Suppose this is the current source, and this current is I1. So what do you see? Here I1 will be how much? I1 will be equal to, suppose this is 1 ohm. So I1 is equal to how much? It is equal to 5 by 1. 5 by 1, that means 5 ampere. So its value will be how much? 2 into 5 into 10 ampere. So if it is a 10 ampere source, then it will have some resistance. Clear? So you cannot deactivate any dependent source. But yes, if you are going to do some kind of source transformation, then you can easily do source transformation in the case of dependent source. Now step 3, connect a voltage source of V volt. Connect a voltage source of V volts across the terminal. Now this time they are saying you have to connect a voltage source of V volt across the terminal. That means here you are going to connect a battery across the terminal. Now what will happen if you are connecting a battery? This will deliver some current. This will deliver some current. So now if it is delivering some current, then step 4, R effective or Z effective will be equal to V by I. R effective or V effective will be V by I. That means by KCL and KVL, by applying Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law, you will have to find the relation between V and I. Clear? So let us solve one question so that your doubt can be cleared. Your doubt can be cleared. So let us take a question. Here it is plus minus 2I1. Here it is 1 ohm. Here it is 1 ohm. Here also it is 1 ohm. Now you are having a 2 ampere of current source. Clear? And now you are having a resistance of 2 ohm. You have to find the equivalent resistance between the pair of terminal X and Y. So let us see how to find. And this current is I1. So first step, deactivate the independent source. So current source will be replaced by open circuit. What is the second step? You will have to connect a battery. A battery will always be in your hand if you are finding equivalent resistance. Its value will be V. It will be inserting a current I. Now see what will happen to the dependent sources. Here you see the current was initially the current flowing through this resistance was I1. Now if you are making two changes in the circuit, what will happen? This current value will be changed. If you are making any changes in the circuit, then currents will be changed. So if branch current is changed, then what will happen? You will have to write I1 dash. Here also you will have to write I1 dash. Now you will say that, sir, who is going to check whether I am writing I1 dash or I1? So of course if you are appearing in GATE examination, nobody is going to check. But if you are solving some conventional questions, if you are solving the questions of engineering services examinations, then what will happen? There they are going to check you everything. So at that time examiner will ask you why you have not put I1 dash. So remember, you must put I1 dash. Clear? Because if there is any change in the circuit, it will be reflected in all the branches. Clear? Suppose in United States, what happens in United States? You will see that if there is some economic crisis in United States, then what happens? It affects all the countries. So here also, if there is any change across the terminal, then it will affect everywhere. Clear? So now let us see how to find I1 dash. Now what we have to do? If you are having dependent source, then how you solve the question of dependent source? For dependent source, first step is look at the magnitude of dependent source. Its magnitude is 2I1 dash. Second step is identify the branch on which its value depends. This branch is 1 ohm resistance. Third step is you will have to apply Ohm's law in this branch. 3 steps you have to remember. First step I have already explained when I was teaching you dependent source. So first step, the branch, the magnitude is 2I1 dash. This is I1 dash. Third step will have to apply Ohm's law. So if you are applying Ohm's law in this branch, here you see potential is 0. Now if the terminal is 0, here the rising potential of this node will be V. Now you see that this node is common up to this point. So the potential of all the nodes are V. These nodes are nothing but the same. So if the potential of this node is V, then I1 dash will be equal to V minus 0 by 1, that means V. Clear? Now what will you do? Apply Kirchhoff's current law. If you are applying Kirchhoff's current law, you are having one branch, second branch, third branch, you are having fourth branch. So let us take outgoing currents as positive and incoming currents as negative. Now your question will be, sir, why are you taking outgoing currents positive? The reason is you will have to see the majority of branches. If at a particular node the majority of branches are outgoing branches, then you will have to take outgoing as positive. If the majority of branches are incoming branches, then you will have to take incoming currents as positive. Although there is no any particular rule for this concept, clear, but you will have to do it accordingly, because if you are living in a society, so in sort of society, what happens in society, suppose there are 10 families living in a society. Now what happens, if you see that 8 families are going to vote for a particular party, so what happens, you will see that automatically what happens, that these 8 will be considered as the positive ones and 2 will be considered as their opponents, clear. So here also the concept will be applied accordingly. So here you write Kirchhoff's current law. So here what happened, V minus, this potential is 2I1 dash. Now here remember one more thing, this is current dependent voltage source, because this is plus and minus sign is there. If instead of plus minus it was some arrow was given, then it would be like a current source. Here it is acting as voltage source, clear, dependent voltage source. So here V minus 2I1 dash. So here we write V minus 2I1 dash divided by 1 plus this current is I1 dash plus this current is V minus 0 by 2 minus incoming current I will be equal to 0. Incoming current I will be equal to 0. So from here you write V minus 2I1 dash plus I1 dash plus V by 2 minus I equal to 0. So here what do you see? V I1 dash can be written as V. So here it will be V minus V plus V by 2 minus I equal to 0. V and V are cancelled out. That means V by 2 is equal to I. That means V by I is equal to 2 ohm. So this is the value of effective resistance seen from this terminal. This is the value of effective resistance seen from this terminal. Let us discuss. Now let us come to last case, that means fourth type of circuit having dependent sources only. The circuit having dependent sources only, that means come before 1947. So here what is the first step? First step is again identify the terminal. First step is you will have to identify the terminal. You will have to identify the terminal. Clear? Once you are able to identify the terminal, clear? Once you are able to identify the terminal, now independent sources are not present, so no need to deactivate any source. Now second step is connect a battery of V volt across the terminal. Across the terminal you will have to connect the battery of V volt and come to third step. Third step is R effective or Z effective will be equal to V divided by I. So let us discuss one question. The question is like this. Here it is 1K, here it is 9K, here it is IB. This question was asked in GATE 2000 13, and at that time the paper was common for electrical engineering, electronics communication engineering, and one is instrumentation engineering. The paper was common for all these three branches. That means this paper, the paper of network, the paper of network. Now you will say why this, how it was possible, sir? It was possible because they conducted the examination of electrical, electronics and instrumentation in the same date, same slot. Clear? That's why it was common. That's why it was common. Here it is 100 ohm. This terminal is A, B. This current is I, B. 9 kilo ohm, 1 kilo ohm. Only dependent source is there, 99 IB. You have to find VAB. First step, sir, if you are giving AB, I want a stop. I will suddenly write, place a voltage source V. The current will coming out from this voltage source will be I. Clear? Now, your friend will come. You will say, don't forget to put IB dash. So here you are putting IB dash. Clear? Next step is, your third friend is coming. He will say that, sir, you had taught that look at the magnitude of dependent source, identify the branch. If you have identified the branch, then apply Ohm's law in this branch. Clear? So let's apply Ohm's law. What is the potential of this node? This is 0 volt. Here the potential is V volt. Clear? So what will be the value of IB? Here IB dash will be equal to minus V divided by 10K. Now your question will be, why are you writing minus? This is because if you are having a voltage source connected like this, 100 volt, and if you are having a resistance here, then current will flow, the positive current, suppose this is 10 ohm, so 10 ampere of current will flow from top to bottom. Here the direction of current is given upward. So if the direction of current is given upward, so here you will have to take it negative. And if what happens, sir, you will say that, you will ask that if I don't take positive, then what will happen? Then this question was asked for 2 marks. So you will get minus 2 by 3. You will get minus 2 by 3 in GATE exam. Clear? So if you will have to take care of minus and plus. Otherwise, you will get plus 2 marks if you are taking proper sign. If you don't take proper sign, then you will get minus 2 by 3. Clear? So IB dash is minus V by 10K. Now next step, sir will apply Kirchhoff's current law. Don't worry, you apply Kirchhoff's current law. Here incoming branches, 3 incoming branches are there. One is outgoing branch. Here the current will be V by 100. So let us mark these incoming branches as positive. So IB dash plus I plus 99 IB dash minus I minus V by 100. Minus V by 100 will be equal to 0. So here you see 100 IB dash plus I minus V by 100 is equal to 0. Clear? Is equal to 0. So now what do you write? Here see, IB dash is incoming, 99 IB dash and I, all these 3 currents are incoming and only one current is outgoing. Now what will happen? 100 into IB dash. That means here now it will become minus. So minus 100 into V divided by 10 to the power 4 minus V by 100 plus I will be equal to 0. So from here if you calculate 10 to the power 2, so here you will calculate that V by I is coming 50 ohm. So this is the answer of this question. So these are very important concepts, how to find resistance or impedance in different types of circuits. Clear? So I hope now this concept is clear to you. Now once we start studying Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, maximum power transfer theorem, then there you will see that I will be finishing the lectures in one. I will finishing the topic in one lecture. I will finish Thevenin's theorem in one lecture. I'll finish Norton's theorem in one lecture, and there I'll also solve 4 to 5 previous year questions or some numerical questions, because when we'll be dealing with Thevenin's theorem or Norton's theorem, we'll see that we have no need to deal with this part, because our Thevenin will already be known to us, because you have already studied all the different cases of how to find resistance in a circuit. Clear? So in the next video lecture we'll discuss some more numerical questions on finding resistance of a circuit, and then we'll start Thevenin's theorem. Clear? So I hope this concept is now clear to you. Now what you have to do? Suppose you have watched my lecture. So if you are watching my lecture, then I expect that you prepared some notes. Now what will happen? After attending the class, now take the rest for 1 hour, 2 hours, maybe whatever. After that, what you have to do? You have to take out the note. And see what you studied. Now what happens? You have to revise the note. You have to practice the questions and try to put some numericals by yourself. Try to design some numerical questions by yourself. Clear? Suppose here I have given 9K, 1K. You can change this data. You can change the direction of current IV. You can have another different question. Here I am given current source. You can take it voltage source. Simply what you have to do? There are many points there you can change the circuit. Here you can simply write plus minus 99 IB. Now what will happen? The whole equations will be changed. The current source is being replaced by voltage source. That means if you try to design the questions, then you can design 4 to 5 questions from this circuit. And if you are preparing for the GATE examination like this, then only you can score good ranks in upcoming GATE examination, that is GATE 2022, because the question papers which are being set by the professors of IIT, they repeat some of the concepts. Sometimes some questions have also been repeated, only some data has been changed, but they are doing experiments with most of the questions. Clear? So there what will happen? In the previous questions they will try to add some more concepts in the questions, then only they will ask the questions. Clear? And if you are having full command on network theory subject, then 8 to 10 marks of questions are being asked every year from this network theory subject. And if you attempt the questions of network theory, then you will see that every time you will get 8 to 10 marks, because in network theory there is very less chance of negative marking in the questions. Clear? So I wish you all the best, and prepare the notes and revise the concept again.